What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 28th day of December. Here we are in our final days of 2025, sitting just below $88,000 with roughly 8.5 hours left in this day. Hit that like button, my friends. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Before we get into the charts, I want to talk about sentiment, and I want to talk about herd mentality. For those of you who are maybe you're new in the space, maybe you've been here for a while but you've just never heard the term, but it's a pretty common term in this space and in the stock world as well, is herd mentality, right? For traders, for analysts, for contrarians, herd mentality is essential to understand, because typically, regardless of what all the technical indicators imply, regardless of whatever the fundamental indicators imply or the fundamental analysis implies, regardless of anything that you could do, herd mentality is one of the most dependable aspects of analysis that I think any analyst should utilize. Typically in markets, whenever it comes to stock markets, real estate, commodities, crypto, when the herd is very euphoric, super euphoric, exuberantly euphoric, that is typically the top. And when the herd, and what do I mean by the herd? I mean 90% of market participants, maybe 80%, the majority, the vast majority, not like 60%, the vast majority. Whenever the vast majority is pessimistic and expecting the price to dump or that something is going to zero, like GameStop, for example, well, that's a good time for things to start moving up. Markets are not made so that every single one of you watching this video can make money. It's so that a few of you can make money. Markets, and I heard this from Eric Crown. Shout out to Eric Crown. I heard this years ago and it stuck with me. Most markets are made to take most of the money away from most people most of the time. And that is a perfect way to embody this idea of herd mentality and why it's advantageous to be aware of this. And not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Who am I to say what the herd mentality is right now? I have my own echo chambers, and that's what's hard about this day and age. We have so much information that we can share with each other, but because of that, and because of AI and how our algorithms work, it's very easy to get stuck in your own echo chambers where you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are saying, everybody thinks that the market is bullish, so therefore we have to go down. But then somebody else is in an echo chamber where everybody and the market's bearish, so we have to go up. It's really hard to decipher that. I try to be non-biased, and in my most humble opinion, I think the herd is waiting for the other shoe to drop right now, is waiting for Bitcoin to go lower, right? There's a mix of people in the space right now, right? And then there has been since this low point over here. There's been a lot of people at this low point who thought Bitcoin's about to do this V-shaped recovery, or we're about to crash down to 70K. That was the majority, right? The majority of people were expecting adverse reactions, one direction or the other. The market was literally split in half by this decision of this thought of, okay, Bitcoin's going below this low and it's going to happen fast. We'll see you there by Christmas. We'll see you there by January. Or Bitcoin's going to have a mass recovery. We're going to have an end-of-year rally that takes us to new all-time highs. It was a very bipolar split between these two thoughts of mentality. So of course, herd mentality dictates then that most people will be wrong. What did we do? Well, we proved most people wrong. We just moved sideways. We did the exact opposite of what both outcomes could have been. It's just moving sideways and being boring, right? Right now, I believe that most people in the crypto space believe that this is just a stopping point of which we go lower. Now, there are a ton of people who, like me, assume we're still in a bull market. And it's not a small population of people. However, in comparison per capita to the whole crypto population that does exist, I would, just off of my own opinion and what I see online, I would assume that it's something like 70, 80, maybe even more percentage of people think that we're either going to move up and then move down to lower prices, that from here we're going to move down and not move up at all. Most people think one of these two outcomes is going to happen. There's very few people who think we're going to break out and then continue to go to new all-time highs or consolidate and then go up to new all-time highs, something like that, right? That doesn't mean that we have to go to new all-time highs, but that's just my perception right now from YouTube and from X.com, from what I've seen other analysts, people I respect, saying. On that note, shout out to Ivan on Tech. But Ivan on Tech is one of the biggest YouTube accounts in crypto. And he says this, and Ivan's been in the game for a long time. I respect Ivan. I think he's been in crypto just as long as I have, but he's a lot more sophisticated with various things and his knowledge of the markets, I would say, from a fundamental level. I think I have more sophistication on the technical side, but he's got some technicals too. He's pretty good. Anyways, if you're in crypto and you're not following Ivan on Tech, you're missing one of the, I think, funniest, one of the more chill guys in the space. He's very funny. If you don't get his humor, if you don't get his sarcasm, it might seem offensive to you sometimes, but he's very sarcastic. He's very, very funny. Anyways, Bitcoin low will happen when people capitulate. Now they are still hopeful, trying to get conviction back, LMAO. Once they panic, we bottom, because of what Grant Cardone said. And Grant Cardone's a big figure in any market, but Ivan on Tech in the crypto markets is a much bigger figure, right? So you've got the much bigger figure in the crypto market saying we're still going to go lower, and he's using someone who's a smaller figure in the crypto space as an example of herd mentality. I'm flipping the script here, and I'm saying, Ivan, you are the herd mentality, my friend. We look at this, we've been in fear. We've been in fear on this fear and greed indicator, and not just fear, extreme fear, for months now. It's been months. If this loads, I was trying to take a second to drink so that there we go. We've been in levels of fear since October 17th. We had a brief moment where we got back to neutral, but most of that time we've been here below 30. For the better part of 2.5 months. Okay? We did not have extreme greed at our highs. You see the gray line right here? There's the colorful line, and then there's the gray line. The gray line's the price. When the Bitcoin price was up here, the fear and greed index was barely in the greed. Barely. I'm sorry, yeah, greed. But we weren't in extreme greed. Whereas every other high this cycle has been in extreme greed. We're at this low, and every low we've had this cycle has been in fear or extreme fear. We have a higher low here. We've been in extreme fear and fear for longer than any stint on this entire indicator's entire life existence, which isn't that long. It's only been around since 2023. There's other indicators. There's the alternative.me one or alternate.me one that it's been around since like 2018, but still, whatever fear and greed index you're looking at there, we're definitely in a very long stint of fear and greed, okay? I would think if the average person here has not capitulated, if the average person was still hopeful and trying to get conviction back, and they haven't panicked, therefore we haven't bottomed, I would think if that was the truth, we would not be fearful right now, would we? We wouldn't be fearful at all. You know, here when the price was here and we moved down, we crashed. We went from like 104K all the way down to 95, 94K, 90K, whatever it was. Whenever we crashed right there, we weren't fearful. We were neutral. We were barely fearful, but we were neutral. So then we went lower, right? Then we had extreme fear. Then we moved higher, right? Whenever we were here and the price was in greed, did we move higher? No, we consolidated until we got to levels of fear or something more neutral, and then we moved up higher, right? We're in levels of fear. Are we going to move lower? Very likely no. Very likely no. It's not that we can't go lower when you're in levels of fear. We've been in levels of fear since October 17th, right? Or October 10th, whatever it might be. We've moved lower since then. But now that we've found our low, and I think that we have found our low because by Ivan's own definition, and I see this all the time. People say people need to capitulate. We have lower to go. People are trying to get hope back in the market. It's so silly, all these delusional bulls. But the thing is, guys, how many people since the 21st of November, how many people were saying we're going to go below 70K here? How many people are expecting the other shoe to drop and for this to be a breakout to the downside? The whole damn space went silent on a bullish note on this day here and became alive with the bearish note. We broke out of the bear flag. We're going to go to this does it. We're at the end of the bull market here. We are definitely in a bear market. We're going to see lower lows, 60K incoming, all this stuff. And it hasn't happened. It's been weeks now that we've quote-unquote broken out. No volume to follow through. No movement down. Again, I've said this before, but if we flip the script here, if we were at our high levels, if we were moving up here, right, and we broke out of this flag like this, and there was no volume to come in, I would be terrified that we're about to shit the bed. But because this chart's inverted, that's not a bed shitting that we're seeing. That's a pump, right? And wouldn't it make sense? Wouldn't it make all the sense in the world that from this area where it's been BART City, that we are in just a giant BART? I mean, wouldn't it just make sense? I think it would make a lot of sense. And I think that the herd mentality, this is all my perspective. This is all my opinion off of what I hope is an unbiased, genuine analysis from my own take on the sentiment of the market. I think the average expectation is we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. I think the average expectation is this is a bear flag, it's a channel, we're going to break out of it to the downside. And that's exactly why I think we're going to move up. We got to throw people for a spin. And when we move up, we're not just going to go up to new all-time highs. It's never that easy. Never. Whenever we ended this trend here, I remember we called the low. We were off by $500. I remember. It didn't go at. I thought we'd go to 74K or just below there, and we went to 74.4K. We were just off, just barely off, but pretty damn freaking close. I remember when we pumped here, we said we're going to continue to pump. And we're gonna pump, and then we'll move sideways, and we'll pump. We'll keep pumping. And I said we were gonna pump at a faster pace than people expect. Everybody was saying this is a lower high. We're gonna go lower, right? During this consolidation phase, I have a point. Whenever we moved up here, and then we started consolidating, everybody was saying we were gonna go lower, but we were saying we were gonna go higher. And the fact that everybody was bearish gave us more belief in that. And the whole purpose here isn't to say everybody was saying we'd go down and I was saying we'd go up. No, the whole point is herd mentality. Focusing on that factor helped us. And not only that, the price didn't just go from here to up here overnight. There were moments where you moved up, where you got people euphoric, and then after a week or two, once people became depressed or scared or fearful and they thought the price was going to go down, that's when we moved up. And then we repeated. Every single time, you can best believe that the general market participant here and here and here was very bullish, and here was very bullish, like euphoric. We're going to 200K, euphoric, bullish, new all-time highs. But by the time that we consolidated, we were over here, here, and here, and here, the market was pessimistic. We're going to see lower lows. The bear market's over, or the bull market's over. The bear market's on. Double top. We've heard this double top story all cycle, and they're saying it the same. They're saying the same thing here, right? People were saying that we had a double top here. People were saying that we had a double top there. Well, we just got above 70K. 5.3 theory, double top. This looks the exact same as the last cycle did. Look at this, guys. Here we are. It's the exact same. It's just smaller, but 5.3 theory doesn't lie. You remember 5.3 theory? Nobody talks about 5.3 theory anymore. Look at this double top. You guys, we've had double top. Do you know why? And again, it's all a play on your psychology. Do you know why every single phase we've consolidated at, every single one this cycle, unlike any cycle we've had before, has been 3 to 5 months in time for consolidation. This one was a little bit longer, but also ended with a double top, just like the last cycle. It's because we have PTSD. The average market participant, myself included, did not catch this high. Right? A lot of people sold this high, but then they FOMO'd back in over here and they got played, right? Most people did not sell this high last cycle. But now, because of this, look at the setup. Every single time we get these double tops, and they've never once provided lower lows. They've always provided higher lows. Even this one right here, we've got a higher low. It's social programming. We all have PTSD of what happened last time, so we don't want to miss it. So we get these little looks just like this. It's social programming. It's there to mess with you. And if you're fearful now, you are part of the herd. By the way of this indicator, and it's been pretty damn spot on since it existed. I used to use the other fear and greed index, the alternate.me one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, crypto fear, this one, right? This one right here, alternative.me. And I think it works. I don't think it's the most accurate, and none of them are. None of them are 100% accurate. I do like the CoinMarketCap one more. There's more historical data with this, and it'll always be relevant because of that. But, here it says we're in extreme fear. I would say we're not in extreme fear. Fear is more appropriate right now. We were in extreme fear at the lows here on the 21st. And again, people capitulating, once they panic, the bottom is in. We bottom, right? The low will happen when people capitulate. Man, How many people sold out of the crypto space within this time here? Talk about capitulation. There are more people sidelined now than there have been this whole bull. You guys, there are more people sidelined in the crypto space now at this higher low than there has been this whole bull market. And you think that we're at the top? No way. No way, Jose. Not going to happen. If you can't get on board with the idea that we're still in a bull market, that we're going to go to new all-time highs, at least get on board with the idea that we at least will move up from here. Because again, the average expectation right now seems to be pretty pessimistic, right? Whenever we're very greedy, we need some pessimism. We need some pessimism before we move higher again. If we're going to move lower, we need some optimism before we move lower again, right? So if you think we're going to move lower, how do we get optimism so that we move lower, right? We have to pump up a little bit. And maybe we don't have to go this high, but we have to pump up. We'll probably, very likely, I would say, man, with a high degree of certainty, like 80% chance or more, we're going to break out of this to the upside. If we break out to the downside, it'll be a fake out, much like this. And we've seen that happen all cycle too. Look at this consolidation phase. Fake out to the downside. We got a lower low. As soon as we got a lower low, boom, we pumped. Fake out to the upside. As soon as we got a higher high, we dumped. Lower low here. As soon as we got it, we pumped. Right? As soon as we got the higher high, we dumped. The market's been playing with us this whole freaking time, both to the downside and to the upside. So if we saw a lower low here, I wouldn't be shocked at all. And it would be a slightly lower low. It wouldn't go below this low. And then from there, we'd start to rally. And we'd see it coming a mile away. I don't know. I don't believe that happens. For a long time here, I did believe that would happen. But now I'm starting to think this actually is the low. I actually am very confident now that this is the low. But even if it's not, even if I'm wrong, so what? Who cares? It's not a big deal. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I guess I just wanted to come on here and rant. There was another thing that I saw that was inspired by Ivan on Tech. Isn't it Alex Becker? Isn't that the guy? I think that's the guy. Let me see here. This is something that I see a lot of people saying. And I don't know if they're just joking. I don't know if they're being dramatic or if they're being serious. But let me show you guys. Let's see. Let's see. This one right here. You roll your eyes and curse at me. By the way, Alex Becker, I think he's fun and funny. He's not perfect. He's not perfect, but I think he's a smart person. You know, I think he knows more or less what he's talking about, but he's a hype guy too. You know, he's not perfect. Neither am I. Neither is Ivan. Neither is anybody. But I like following Alex Becker. Let's see. The level of disinterest and disgust has likely created the largest overselling in crypto history. I'm with you, man. Millionaires will be made from buys here if we just return to okay. I agree. And then Ivan says they need a 30x to get back. And to make a 10x from break even, they need a 300x from here. He's laughing. And I think that's some kind of joke because Ivan is sarcastic. He really is. But I see posts like this all the time. Altcoins need a 10x just to get back to break even. Altcoins need a 6x just to get back to break even, or a 3x, whatever they're saying. I don't know what the average person's investing in. I don't know if this is just a joke and the space is full of sarcasm, because it is. The crypto space is very full of sarcasm. Or I don't know if people are just telling us that they invested in truly terrible projects. Because if you invested in any altcoin, right, this is the others chart. This is the average altcoin. It's the top 125 altcoins in the space. Most people are invested in coins that are registered in this index here. From the bear market low, every single market participant right now, if you've invested in any of the top 125 coins, if you invested in every single one of them, on average, you should be up about a 3x right now. You should be up a 3x. Even from the high, from this current level, all you would need is a 2x. And that's a lot. 122% is not a small amount. In crypto, we're accustomed to thousands of percents, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of percents of growth. We're accustomed to a lot more than that, but 122% is no small feat to accomplish. However, it's not asking the world, especially not in crypto. You guys, a lot of people are saying stuff like this, and again, I don't know if they're being dramatic or sarcastic. I have a feeling Ivan is, but I see this all the time. I think there are genuinely people who've invested in such terrible projects, they've bought the highs of some of these projects, they genuinely need a 10x to be back to neutral. They genuinely need a 5x to be back to neutral. I don't know what everybody's investing in, but understand, if you need a 10x or a 5x to get back to neutral, if you need something that's more than a 2.2x to get back to neutral, one of two things is happening here. Either one, you need to stop trading. You're just wasting all your money by trading. Or two, you've invested in the wrong projects entirely. Like if instead of 2.2x away from getting back to where you were, this is assuming that you bought the high. I mean, this is assuming you bought the high. 2.2x should fix that for the average altcoin. If you're down more than 2.2x, something's wrong. You're investing in the wrong projects, you bought at the wrong time, or you're trading like a degenerate, right? And it's okay if you invested in the wrong projects. It's okay if you bought at the wrong time. You know, there's certain coins that I like Onyx coin, for example. This thing's down like 90% from its high, but from its bear market low, let alone from where we bought, right? We bought a little bit higher, but from the bear market low to where it is here, it's up 6x, right? It's up it's outperforming the average altcoin by like 3 to 1, right? It's or 2 to 1. From where we bought, it's up like 2x right now, which is nice. That's actually technically less than what the average altcoin is up right now, but from the low. I wouldn't have bought the low anyways. I wish, but probably not, right? Anyways, not every coin is applicable to this rule that I'm trying to say here, but the thought that I'm addressing is if you're down 30x, you need 30x to get back, even a 10x to get back. Something's wrong, man. You have to carry this forward with you. You have to admit that something's wrong, and that you've either bought coins at the highs, or you're trading like a degen, or you're invested in the wrong projects entirely, right? You didn't buy the high. You bought the low point, and it just kept dropping. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Anyways. Yeah, that's it, I guess, man. That's it. The market is full of pessimism right now. They're full of disbelief, and they're defeated, and they have capitulated. And the thing is, even Ivan said it. Once the market capitulates, we found our bottom. But he's, I think, part of this herd mentality, and I think a lot of people follow him. So therefore, you know, I think that there's a lot of people in this herd mentality thinking that we go lower. There's a lot of people that are waiting for the other shoe to drop here, and because of that, simply, I think that we're going to go up because of the disbelief. Even if we see a lower low, and wouldn't that be perfect? We get a lower low, we trap everybody, the bears feel vindicated for a half minute, and then boom, then we rally. That's been the story all cycle, guys. It's been the story all cycle. Slightly lower low there, then we rallied, right? Here, this was a pretty big flash crash, don't get me wrong, but we had a slightly lower low here in this consolidation phase after we moved up, and then we rallied, right? Here, we had a slightly lower low, and then we rallied. And obviously, the lowest point is where we bounced from. I get that, but just looking at the consolidation phases before we pumped, we had this area that we were consolidating in. If this breaks, man, we're screwed. As soon as it broke, we were saved. As soon as we went below this consolidation point here, as soon as we got the little fake out right here, we were saved. You know what I mean? That's as soon as we got the higher high, we were boned. This market's been tricky from the start. That's because we have institutional money involved. If the average person's fearful right now, if we're getting extreme fear and levels of fear at an unprecedented rate that we haven't seen all cycle, and let alone this thing's whole existence, and all we have is a macro higher low, people are saying that the uptrend is broken, and it hasn't, because they're using these kind of trend lines here, this very simple analysis. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do a line like this. They're using this very simple analysis. Oh, we've broken out of the uptrend. No, you haven't. Uptrends are not defined by imaginary diagonal lines. This is not an uptrend. An uptrend is higher lows, which we still have, and higher highs, which we still have. We are not in a downtrend. We are in a consolidation phase within an uptrend. The volume is low. We're likely going to move back up to some degree. I've got nothing else. Okay, and I do expect that we'll see new all-time highs. I don't expect that we're in a bull or a bear market. I think that January, end of January, will be great, but February, March specifically is going to be phenomenal. I think we're getting set up for some massive continuation to the upside. We will see new all-time highs, and it's just a matter of time. I would think from this point, 2 months or less. 2 months or less, probably the or less option. I'll see you before Bitcoin sees new all-time highs and before altcoins see new all-time highs. Again, if you're invested in something that's down this bad, that's terrible. I don't know what you're investing in. You're investing in meme coins. You're being a degenerate. Like how do you need those kind of returns, or even a quarter of those kind of returns to get back? It's crazy. It's crazy. But, and again, he might be exaggerating, but I think there's a lot of people who've been investing in very shitty projects, genuinely. All we need for the average altcoin participant is a 2x to be at new all-time highs. You should all be in the green right now. If you bought during the bear market, you should all be in the green right now. If you bought up here, if you bought through this time, okay, maybe not, because the majority of people do not buy the lows, right? The majority of people buy the highs. So, okay, you're probably down a little bit, and that's no fun. It never is. But you probably didn't buy the exact high. right? You probably bought somewhere higher, so you probably don't need a full 2.2x to see green to get back to neutral. When altcoins move up, guys, by the time Bitcoin sees new all-time highs, altcoins are also going to see new all-time highs. And if you think that from 2021 till now, we've been in this consolidation range, we're going to get just a little pump off of that, we're going to see barely new highs, that's not what's going to happen. When we see new all-time highs, guys, we break out of this year and a half long consolidation phase where everybody was max bearish capitulating, we're in fear at the lows. When we break out of this and certify that we're in an altcoin season, that we're in a bull market, we're going to go a hell of a lot higher. All you have to do to make money in crypto, as long as you're not invested in something that needs a 300x or a 30x or a 10x to get back to neutral, all you need is to just invest in any crypto project in the top 200. Go for it. That's not a stable coin, and it's not a blatant scam. And wait. That's all you got to do. Wait about 2 to 3 months. And you won't just be in the green, you'll be swimming in the dough. I got nothing else. I've got things I got to do. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? And if I'm wrong, I've been wrong before. I can be wrong again. But the data, I feel like, I hate saying I feel like, but it's the truth. I don't know. Nobody could objectively tell us if the market's fearful or not. Even though the fear and greed index, both these indicators say we're fearful, there's a chance that the majority of people have optimism here. And if they do have optimism here that we're going to move up, or even if you're bearish, you think we're going to go lower, but you think we're going to, if the majority of people think we're going to move up first, maybe we have to phase that out. Maybe we have to see a slightly lower low before we move up. But again, we've seen that happen all cycle. Right? We're consolidating in this range. If we break out of this range here, guys, we're boned. There's no more bull cycle. If we break out of this range here, well, guess what? As soon as we broke out barely below this range, we were saved. We were at the low point. Oh man, if we break out of this range here, guys, we're screwed. The bull market's over. Well, as soon as we were just barely below that range, we were saved. Right? This is a bit more intense. We've gone a little bit further away, but we still have higher lows. Still higher lows, higher highs. We've really been consolidating, guys, since November of last year. Bitcoin just went through a whole year of consolidation to the sideways brick. We're at the base zone where over the past year, if you bought here, you were a genius. Don't make the wrong decision. You have a second chance to relive exactly what we did back here before we rallied. And a lot of people made the wrong decision here. A lot of people capitulated here. I think there's more capitulation here. I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care of yourselves, all right? I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.